Okay, folks, this is so technical. The production value is going to start going up, but it's the content that's important. For today, we will be discussing part 2 of chapter 1, the meaning of miracles and the course of miracles, and it's entitled part 2, Revelation, Time, and Miracles. We have the copper and the natural pillars of time. This is entitled Revelation, Time, and Miracles. And for those of you in the know, I'm sure you can decipher what that is. We have our little green and gold Tibetan Buddha with us, sitting on top in the center of time. He represents the Christ. And for all of you Christians out there that think that Jesus is the only incarnation of the Christ, you're probably not going to enjoy the Course in Miracles and will never learn or remember how to do them until you've lost your ego so much you won't know it's you anyway. But Christ is the head, the first fruit, and through the power of his resurrection the atonement was made, the Kema. It is not the death, it is not the blood of Christ that saves you, regardless of what Paul teaches. It is the atonement that brings unification back to man. Let us begin. Chapter 1, The Meaning of Miracles. Part 2, Revelation, Time, and Miracles. Revelation induces complete but temporary suspension of doubt and fear. It reflects the original form of communication between God and his creations, involving the extremely personal sense of creation, sometimes sought in physical relationships. Physical closeness cannot achieve it. Miracles, however, are genuinely interpersonal and result in true closeness to others. Revelation unites you directly with God. Miracles unite you directly with your brother. Neither emanates from consciousness, but both are experienced there. Consciousness is the state that induces action, though it does not inspire it. You are free to believe what you choose, and what you do attests to what you believe. Revelation is intensely personal and cannot be meaningfully translated. That is why any attempt to describe it in words is impossible. Revelation induces only experience. Miracles, on the other hand, induce action. They are more useful now because of their interpersonal nature. In this phase of learning, working miracles is important because freedom from fear cannot be thrust upon you. Revelation is literally unspeakable because it is an experience of unspeakable love. Awe should be reserved for revelation, to which it is perfectly and correctly applicable. It is not appropriate for miracles because a state of awe is worshipful, implying that one of a lesser order stands before his Creator. You are a perfect creation and should experience awe only in the presence of the Creator of perfection. The miracle is therefore a sign of love among equals. Equals should not be in awe of one another because awe implies inequality. It is therefore an appropriate reaction to me. An elder brother is entitled to respect for his greater experience and obedience for his greater wisdom. He is also entitled to love because he is a brother, and to devotion if he is devoted. It is only my devotion that entitles me to yours. There is nothing about me that you cannot attain. I have nothing that does not come from God. The difference between us now is that I have nothing else. This leaves me in a state which is only potential in you. Quote, "No man cometh unto the Father but by me," does not mean that I am in any way separate or different from you except in time, and time does not really exist. This statement is more meaningful in terms of a vertical rather than a horizontal axis. You stand below me and I stand below God. In the process of rising up, I am higher because without me the distance between God and man would be too great for you to encompass. I bridge the distance as an elder brother to you on the one hand, and as a son of God on the other. My devotion to my brothers has placed me in charge of the sonship, which I render complete because I share it. This may appear to contradict the statement, "I and my Father are one." But there are two parts to this statement in recognition that the Father is greater. Revelations are indirectly inspired by me because I am close to the Holy Spirit and alert to the revelation readiness of my brothers. I can thus bring down to them more than they can draw down to themselves. The Holy Spirit mediates higher to lower communication, keeping the direct channel from God to you open for revelation. Revelation is not reciprocal. It proceeds from God to you, but not from you to God. The miracle minimizes the need for time. Let me say that one more time. The miracle minimizes the need for time. In the longitudinal or horizontal plane, the recognition of the equality of the members of the sonship appears to involve almost endless time. However, the miracle entails a sudden shift from horizontal to vertical perception. This introduces an interval from which the giver and receiver both emerge farther along in time than they would otherwise have been. The miracle thus has the unique property of abolishing time to the extent that it renders the interval of time it spans unnecessary. There is no relationship between the time a miracle takes and the time it covers. The miracle substitutes for learning that might have taken thousands of years. It does so by the underlying recognition of perfect equality of giver and receiver on which the miracle rests. The miracle shortens time by collapsing it, thus eliminating certain intervals within it. It does this, however, within the larger temporal sequence. That is Chapter 1, The Meaning of Miracles, Part 2, Revelation, Time, and Miracles. Thank you for listening to another edition of the Gnostic Sphere. We'll be posting more soon. We'll be going and studying the Course in Miracles. I'll be adding different commentaries and teachings and lectures and questions and answers, but not on these separate ones where I'm just literally going to read from the workbook and text and manual itself and let the words speak for themselves. And by the way, that is this book claims to be the man that we call Jesus, who was the center of the Gospels and John's revelation to the 7 churches. I don't know about you, but I know I've found home. He is the higher self I've been looking for. My higher self just crumbled right into it, almost like they were the one and the same. True miracle. So you're going to hear Michael talk a lot more about miracles and a lot less about magic, but that's not judgmental. I'm just twerking my path in an energetic way. Namaste and agape.